What's good, brother?
Hey, we
I,
here.
I said you don't waste time, man.
I don't. I can't. We got 30 Zoom meetings a day.
Oh man, I hear you. I hear you, bro. You used to this.
How you feeling?
Oh man, I'm feeling wonderful, man. After that breath work session, brother, that was wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling it too. I'm feeling really great.
Man, thank you, man, and shout out to you, brother. Actually, I just want to real quick. I just want to thank you for joining the live, for sharing your presence, your positivity, your light, your love, energy, man, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, family. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here, family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Somebody said, "Hello, sunshine."
Hey, what's up? That's what everybody say. After sunrise, 95% of people say sunshine. I'll be like, yo, what's up? I could be right. We could keep looking in each other's eyes. I'll be like, yo, I'm sunrise.
Right,
Be like,
right.
what's up, sunshine? I'll be like, what's up? Now I just say what's up. It
Right,
happens so much, I'm used to it.
right, right. She said, "Feeling the light, man. They feeling the
Yes.
light, man. I appreciate y'all joining." So, my brother, man, give us a little, a tour inside your mind state right now. Of course, we all know what's going on right now, but brother, you one of the main folks that are keeping it positive and also pushing that positivity, spreading it around the world and spreading it through your platform, which I love that you are doing, and really just expressing yourself and encouraging other people to embrace their power.
Yeah. Yeah.
So please talk about that.
Okay, so basically right now, I'm feeling like I don't know if y'all play sports. Like when like maybe you're a part of a sports team and then y'all like make it to the playoffs and then you're like, okay, we doing good. We doing good. We
Yeah,
strong out here. And then
yeah.
you advance to the semifinals and
Hmm.
then you like, oh, we really straight. We about to go to the states. And then you
Yes.
go to the states and you win and then you like, oh, we the state champions. That's
Hmm.
how I feel like. I feel like right now like we at the state championship. Like we didn't made it through the playoffs. We here. I feel like this is a pivotal moment
Yes.
of mass awakening on the earth and of mass healing.
Yes.
So it's bringing me nothing but excitement because I'm like, this is a moment a lot of souls have been waiting for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of souls and a lot of masters and a lot of spirits have waited a long time, many, many lifetimes, to be in this very now moment that we're in, this pivotal time. We're like watching our reality evolve and transform in front
Yeah.
of our eyes
Yeah.
every day. And so I'm like, my main purpose is like what I'm thinking about right now is how can I help people not be in a state of fear? Because a lot of people sometimes get in a state of fear with uncertainty,
Right.
but I think that's what this time is supposed to teach us right now is how to be comfortable with uncertainty, to
Yeah.
throw everybody in a state of existence where we're not sure what the next day is going to bring. Every day the media is saying different things.
Right.
It's like this is the time to get used to being comfortable with uncertainty, and that's what I feel in my heart.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm trying to tell that to everybody because
Yeah.
people telling me like the world ending. I'm like, the world beginning.
Right.
Like
Right. Right. We've only
I'm
just
like,
begun.
right, right,
Bro, your I love your wordage, your vernacular. Like you are a very first of all, you're a very distinguished linguist when it comes to like ninja tactics with the wordplay. You know what I'm saying? Of course,
yeah,
you say good rising, stuff like that instead of morning. Like you're very selective with your word choice, and you always say things like this now moment, and you'll
yeah,
say I'll catch you in the next now moment. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it always encourages me to understand that we are we can focus on the present. And I
yeah.
love how you say that you're trying to get people to get away from fear, because I do believe that fear has no place in the present moment,
Mm-mm.
right?
It
Fear is
doesn't.
only in the future, or
Yeah,
dwelling on the past, right? Never.
exactly, exactly. No, thank you. I appreciate that. I actually just had this conversation with a friend the other day too. Um, I appreciate you saying that because growing up, I've always felt like I had trouble relaying the message I was trying to relay to people. I always felt like I couldn't really get people to understand what I truly meant. And so I spent a lot of time working on that,
Yeah.
and now we're here. But as far as the verbiage, yeah, I want to say uh, thank you. I find that I want my existence to be more in a fifth dimensional existence.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that some of our language that we are trained to use in our society,
Yeah.
it's like each word paints a picture.
Yeah.
That's how we communicate. That is language. So each word paints a picture. And so I found that as you start to try to live on a higher frequency, or not try, as you start to live in a higher frequency,
Right.
you realize that when you say certain words, they do shift you back to a different vibration just because of the image that they bring, or
Yeah.
the origin of the word. You know what I mean? The origin of the vibration of that sound. So it's like I find that it's best to, I call it 5D vocabulary,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Cause it's like
This is that 5D vocab.
I
Okay.
do say grand risings because it's like we rising,
Right.
we and morning it has the other meaning for morning is like, being sad over somebody's
Like,
death. And so
yeah, like somebody just died. Right. Right.
right. And so I feel like I started saying grand rising because I'm like, that feels like more like uplifting, to
Mhm.
me. And just from knowing the root of the other definition. And then like now moments, I always say now moments just to constantly remind us that that's exactly what we're in. We're in a combination of now experiences. You know what I mean?
So
It's just
like a continuous now.
a continuous now
Okay.
that just continues to evolve and transform. So I'm like, just remember this is where we always at. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. It's a wonderful reminder, and it really puts things in perspective because, like we were saying earlier, when we get caught up, you know, dwelling on the past or, ruminating on the future, we're not in the now moment, and that's where fear lies. Fear is waiting for us in places that aren't present, So that's why I
Right.
think the present really is the gift. It is the ultimate gift
Yeah.
that we can give ourselves. We can give ourselves by being in the moment. Yeah.
Right.
Open
And
the
it's funny how you say that because that makes me think now, like how you said, fear only exists in the past and the future, but essentially the past and the future don't really exist at all.
boom. You got
So it's like the fear. So it's like the
you said
fear
it. You said
shouldn't
it.
exist, like because its space of existence is illusionary. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right, right.
Yeah, yeah,
You right.
and so it's like, yeah, we just gotta stay in the now. We gotta
Mhm.
stay in the now. We gotta
Yes.
stay in the moment. Um,
Mhm.
and
So
just
what's three ways that you can give the people that you can tell somebody who is finding it hard to stay in the now? They're listening to the news, they're listening to all this feedback, these broadcasting frequencies coming from all
Mhm.
directions, and they're really trying to stay in the present. What are three things that you could tell them to anchor themselves?
Okay. One, the very first thing I would say is really focus on your breath.
Yeah.
Y'all, if you know me, you know I teach a trap sheet class, and it's mainly breath work.
Yes.
The main thing that helps me and will help you stay in the now is the breath. That's one of the strongest ways. A
Hmm.
deep breath in your belly button, all the way down. That deep breath will anchor you here. The
Yeah.
slower and deeper you can take that breath, the more you'll start to analyze this now moment, and your mind, aka your attention, will be turned from inwards, visualizing the past and the future, to outwards, experiencing the reality that we at right now.
Hmm.
Like we right here, right now, with the homie. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
The second thing
Okay.
is
Two.
number two is I would say minimize all I can't say this, but I'll say it's kind of a contradiction because I've been on the internet and stuff every day doing classes, but I would say minimize your media intake. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
we need to just stop trying to figure out what's happening. Stop trying to figure out what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to figure out what's happening. We
Mm-hmm.
watching the news, we hearing all this just to figure out. I'm not saying be ignorant. I'm not saying don't be tapped in with the most present things and the most orders where we're getting stay at home or if we can go out. But I'm saying don't just be watching the news every day because
Right.
they just spreading this fear. The way they sound it, even the way they push it, it's just like you got to hold up a shield to even be on that channel for a couple
Yeah.
minutes.
And we're consuming that. It's like the old Indian folklore, the folktale, about
Mm-hmm.
the wolf that you feed is the one that wins. So
Exactly.
whatever you're consuming, you are creating.
Right.
We're emanating. The energy that we are feeding ourselves. So that's what's coming off of us. So I definitely agree with you that sometimes it's really good to take an e-fast, like a fast from electronics, a fast from
Yeah.
technology, a fast from the media. Just
Right.
really, yeah, yeah.
And then with that knowledge of knowing you create what you consume. That's like the other side of the coin to this number two, like take a break take a break from the media. Also the flip side of that is control which media you consume, because
Boom.
that's been a major part of why I've been happy, because most of the
Yeah.
things I've been deciding to view and deciding to watch has had positive, or at least a positive outlook on what's happening in the now moment,
Right.
because I choose to consume that so I can relay that vibration, because
Hmm.
you're right, like you're literally eating it with your mind when you're watching it, listening it,
And we
and
are what we eat.
we are what we eat. Okay, and number three, another best way to anchor yourself in the present moment is definitely pick up meditation. I
Yeah.
would say this is the moment to introspect. The more you can spend time internally listening to that heart space, because that could also be playing off of part two. You feel me? Because it's like focus, pull your focus back from the media and put your focus more in your internal guidance system, into
Yeah.
your conscious, because your consciousness is telling you every day, like every day I've been at home or doing what I'm doing, I have been practicing listening to myself, and when you listen to it, it gets louder, you feel me? It
Yeah.
gets more clear, it gets more direct. It's like, oh, should I make it right? No, don't make it right. It gets more loud, so just meditate, tap
Shoot, man,
in
that
every
that
day.
song that song that you made about meditation is for gangsters. Like you said it on
Yeah.
the song. You were like, when you go within, you'll answer all your questions.
Yep.
When you go within, so it's like,
You'll learn all your lessons.
yeah,
When you go within, you'll get all your blessings.
yeah.
And when you go within, you'll stop all your stressing. You feel me?
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. Come on, somebody. Come on now. So, hey, bro, like I've definitely found it, likewise in my experience that, and all meditations really go to the same end, but
Exactly.
any meditation that you use is valid for you. Just pick up at just one. There's
Mm-hmm.
hundreds, there's thousands of meditations. Just pick up one that you like, just like a favorite food, one that you enjoy,
Right.
uh, and just start to work with it, work with yourself. And I have found that meditation
Hold
definitely.
on, my phone. Hold
Oh,
on, my phone.
you good, brother. They flying overhead,
They
brother.
flying over. They feel the love radiation. They like, what is that love beaming from
Hold on
407?
now.
They
Hold
said
on.
we see way too much love beaming from that area. Go check over there.
Hey, man. But yeah, man, I definitely agree, and I'd say that meditation has given me answers without questions, without even asking questions. It's given me answers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Answers. So I like how you said, in number two, you were like, stop searching all the time for the answers outside of you. Like stop
Mm-hmm.
looking, stop looking. Sometimes we don't need to always be looking, but when we find, when we go within, like they say in the quarantine, if you can't go out, Go in.
Right. Go in.
Go in.
Stay home. Yeah, that's the spiritual quarantine. Stay home. Meditate. Stay. This is your real home, your body. Stay home. Tap in.
Right. Right.
No, but really, really, I do want everybody that's watching, and I do keep telling everybody, you know, on Trap Tree Class, everything, to really utilize this time to tap in for real. Like if you don't use any other days or any other moments in life to tap in and meditate with yourself, tap in, because it's a very the earth is shifting vibrations, you feel me? And
Mhm.
so you want to shift with that vibration so you can feel comfortable during the shift.
Yeah.
And you can help yourself feel comfortable by tuning in with yourself and getting uncomfortable, feeling
Yeah.
out your feeling, pulling up your trauma that you got to heal. You know, all this stuff happens during meditation and still time. So I just be telling everybody, really meditate, because the more you clear up your karma, your emotional debt, your emotional baggage, the more you can anchor in the now. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. And man, in the spirit of clearing things up, you know, getting to that state of purity, like cleansing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the earth is a complete parallel right now to what we're needed to do. Like this is a time to cleanse. You know, the earth is
Mm-hmm.
finally getting a break. You
Mm-hmm.
know, she's
Mm-hmm.
taking a rest. Like things are coming back into balance. You know, the scales were tipped. You
Yeah.
know, they were tipped to a certain point where it had to come back. You know what I'm saying? It had
Right.
to bring its way back. So in that spirit of letting things go, I've always found in my experience, every time I let something go, something else came in. If I
Mm-hmm.
let if I let something material go, like all these books on the shelf that are really just shelf help and they're not self help, like they're not helping me
Yeah.
if I don't read them. You know,
Right. Right.
a tool doesn't do you anything good in the shed. It's just collecting dust, right?
Right.
So
Right.
by donating them, by giving them away, and not caring to whom they go to,
Mm-hmm.
all sorts of things came in. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Blessings from out of nowhere. Like every time I gave something up, every time I released and relinquished and just let go,
Mm-hmm.
something flooded in to fill that void. So my friend, he talked about it like slapping water. If
Yeah.
you can imagine a bucket of water. You slap the water, it disperses for a second, but then it fills back in that void.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm all about the letting go too. I find that too. I find that to be very true for myself as well. And you know, because it's kind of like, um, when you hold on to things, when you like grasp and you try to like force things to stay in your control or whatever, um, it's kind of putting out the vibration of lack to the
Right.
universe. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because you
Yes.
like, I need this because I don't got this if I lose it and I might not have it. All of that is like
Right.
lack. And so you're like radiating lack, you know?
Right.
But when you're like, when you're easily, or when you can easily let things go, that's kind of like an abundance mindset. Like, I'm straight,
Woo!
I'm good, everything
Yes.
is good. This
Yes.
shirt is gone because I'm
Yes.
good. It's gonna
You're,
come back tenfold. And
that's like
so
a
that's
direct communication with the universe. Oh my God. Like, I love how you said that because,
mm-hmm,
you know, it's so true. It's a paradox, right?
mm-hmm,
The fear of letting go is robbing you,
mm-hmm,
right? So it's
mm-hmm.
like you're saying, I'm afraid to let this go. I don't know if I'll get it back or whatever your reason for not letting something go. But you're communicating that you don't have, that there's not more than enough.
There's
When
not more than
when
enough.
nature shows us that there's more than enough.
There's way more than enough.
You
There's
know?
way more. And then the universe is just like, the universe is like the ultimate servant. It's like, what do you want? But it don't necessarily go by what you say.
Right.
What your communication to the universe is your vibration. So the
Right.
universe is like, what you want right now? And
Uh-huh.
then you're radiating, oh, I don't have. And the universe is like, all right,
I
you
guess
don't have.
you don't have.
and then your and then your reality is like, oh, you always need this, you need that. We don't got nothing. That's
Yeah.
because you radiating that. But when you like,
Right.
I'm straight, I'm good, you know,
Right.
it's okay if I get 3 checks today. It's okay if I get no checks today. The
Right.
universe is like, oh, you straight, you got everything in abundance, and then blow starts
Yeah.
dropping everything. And yeah, I've literally like experienced that, like literally giving up all, like in 2016, 2017, I like gave up so much of my stuff and was just like, oh, I'm doing some like minimalist, whatever. And yeah, it just showed me that you're always okay and things will
Yeah,
always work out.
yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. Like I have the same experience. Like driving here to California, not knowing anything about my future, not knowing where I was gonna, live, where I was gonna be. But when I just put everything out on Front Street and said, you know, what will be will be. Like whatever happens happens. Like when I said I'd rather be on the street than have another job than work underneath somebody. When I said,
Yep.
I'd rather, what I'm saying? I like when I was willing to basically be homeless, everything was provided. Shelter was provided, everything. When I was willing, to fast and let go, like all sorts of stuff were provided. So it's I love how you point out the universe. It's not it's just a mirror image, right? It's literally as impartial as a mirror.
Right.
So when you smile in the mirror smiles back. When you
Exactly.
frown in the mirror frowns back. It's just showing you exactly what you're doing.
Right.
And so yeah.
And what you label the mirror, because some people be labeling their universe all kind of crazy ways. They be
You're
like,
right.
"Oh, today is it's terrible. It's the worst day." I'm like, "Dang, why you like casting that? You writing that in your story? You like
Right.
that's what today is gonna be."
Right. Right.
But yeah, no, you're right. You're right. We do got the similar story because yeah, same thing. As soon as I was willing to just hop off the edge and be like, if I fall, I fall.
Hmm.
It's like that's when things, the universe just lets you know like you straight, family.
Yeah.
Even if it's uncomfortable, even if you in a now moment that's uncomfortable and you like, oh, I don't like this now moment. Ain't no way I manifested this one. It's like you straight. Look at you. Look at your surroundings and actually think about it. You be like, you know what? I'm not hungry right now. You know what I mean? I got a little bit of shelter. I'm cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
There
it's
was
like you always okay.
there was a lady who I was at this seminar, and she was really stressed out over her relationship with her husband. She'd been with him for over 20 years, and she felt like she was elevating in her vibration, and he just wasn't coming up there with her. And she was like, he doesn't understand me, and what do I do? And she just broke down crying, right? And the presenter on the stage asked her a simple question, just a simple question. He was like, would you say right now you are in a low vibration or a high vibration? And she thought about it because she was bawling, she was crying, she was like, he just doesn't get me, I don't understand it, I just want to be on the level. And he was like, would you say that you were in a low vibration or a high vibration? She said, well, I'm feeling pretty
Right.
low right now. And he was like, well, which do you feel like you need to be in to get the result that you want, to cause the change that you want? Do you feel like you know what I mean? Like
Right, right,
he
right.
just asked her a simple question, like, do you think you're gonna get more of that in the low vibration or the high vibration? So she was
Right.
like, oh wow, she thought about it, and it just made it so simple and plain. You
Yeah.
know, we
Yeah.
always have that choice to consciously choose which we want to be in.
Yeah. And that's the hard and not hard. That can be the challenging part sometimes too as you continue your journey. Cause it's like you start to kind of you start to be like when you start to experience these moments that frustrate you or knock you off emotionally as you grow and become aware of this knowledge, you're like still feeling the emotion,
Hmm.
but then you have the knowledge and information that you can either choose to be in this emotion or you can choose. So sometimes it like creates a little bit of friction and you like, oh, and it gives you the it highlights the ego, like how the ego
Yeah.
just wants to exist. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Because the ego's
Yeah.
like, I want to be mad, and you're like,
Right.
I can choose to be mad if I want, or I can just let it go and continue to radiate love because I know
Hmm.
that that's what I want to radiate. But
Right.
it's like the ego will be like, but we still want to hold on to this emotion a little bit longer, just a little bit.
Hmm.
But yeah, I like how I like that more and more people are becoming aware
Yeah.
of the fact that you can choose which vibration you want to be in reality.
Hmm.
Because it's all reactions. You know what I mean? And it's like my boxing coach always says this, uh, be slow to react. Be slow to react. Because it's like, this ties into a couple things, like the reactions based off of things that happen in our reality or things we expect, you know. It's like you got two agendas.
Mm-hmm.
You got your agenda, the one that you get up and on Monday or Sunday, whenever the beginning of your week is, you write in that agenda. You like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're going to do this. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, 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 we're going to do this. That's your agenda, right?
Yeah.
You got the whole week planned. And then you got God, aka the universe, aka Allah, whoever you want to call the Most High. Then you got God's agenda. You feel me? The thing is, we got to be slow to react if our agenda isn't in harmony with God's agenda. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
we looking at our agenda, which we think, okay, our agenda is the best route to go. You know, I'm gonna
Right.
or make a left on Tuesday. You know, but really the universe or the Most High's agenda is the best agenda for you. So when we face these situations that we didn't plan on happening or that we're not expecting to happen, we're like, oh, my agenda is ruined. You know what I mean?
Right.
But really, you straight because you're on the Most High, the universe's agenda right now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's like if you're slower to react, you can kind of analyze and reflect back on that fact. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, boom, you just lost your wallet. Boom, you could get mad right there. Or you could breathe and be like, you know what? I lost this wallet. It was meant, the universe obviously wanted me to lose this wallet right now. I'm probably walking into something greater tomorrow. You
Right.
never know.
Right.
Right. And
You can.
it's like,
Mhm.
it's just better to exist in that frame of thinking. You feel me?
We can always have that perspective, and I love that where, you know, there's even a quote that said, when man makes plans, God laughs. You know, when
Yep.
we make plans, it's like, ha, it's like, oh, you thought, okay, you know, all right,
Right.
I'll let you do, you know, do your thing, you know. But it's like we have no idea often where the whole thing about pressure busts pipes, but it also makes diamonds. You
Yeah.
know, it takes pressure. It takes pressure to bring the diamond out. So we may be, you know, things unexpected things can come and not be as we intended. We intended things to happen this way, then they happen another way.
Right.
We may have no idea that we are being molded, sculpted, shaped. The pressure is actually bringing the diamond out. So there are so many situations where we think it should have gone this way, but
Mm-hmm.
it was always for the good. That's why I have a mantra that I love. You know, all things lead to my success, happiness, and wealth. All things, you know, all is well. All things are
Oh, that's
leading me to my
powerful.
success, happiness, and wealth, down all paths. So it just
Hold on. Can you say
kind of
that one
lets
more time? Can you just say that one more time?
yeah, yeah. All things lead to my success, happiness, and wealth. You know,
All things lead to my success, happiness, and wealth. That's
yes.
powerful.
All things, all things, even the things that we think might be negative or the things
Mm-hmm.
that we think are misfortune, it's really we really have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, you know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
your test can be a testimony for someone else.
Yeah.
Your mess can be a message for someone else. You know, you never know whose lives you could touch by
Mm-hmm.
what you're going through, and you might need to go through that because the person who you need to be is not the person.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
the the person that you are becoming is like the person that you need to be to get the thing that you actually desire. We cannot obtain whatever we are dreaming of or desiring if in the old mentality, the old mindset, that old person. So that's why it's like constant evolution, constant change, but we can never know that because we don't know the future. And that's why
Right.
Steve Jobs said you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them, you know, looking back, you know, and then you see where things were falling in line. Hindsight, we always have perfect vision when we reflect and say, oh wow, like this was actually leading me to that. That's why I ran into this person because they introduced me to that, and that's why, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
It's
Right.
all making sense.
And it makes sense. Yeah, that's and to add on top of that, also you may be going through something that you may not like for a simple fact that you may have to connect with somebody in the near future or future now moment
Future now
that
moment,
has
yeah.
been through that same thing so
Mm,
you can understand, and maybe you're going to be in a position to help them, and the fact that you went through something that they went through, you can understand their experience on a deeper level in
yep.
which you can serve them. So sometimes you don't even go through stuff for you. Sometimes you go through stuff so you can greater serve other people later.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta sip my tea on that one. I gotta
Yeah.
period.
It's I totally agree, man. It's about the collective. You know,
Mhm.
we're here for each other. Like you've been given a gift to give. You know, we came here with a gift inside, you know, and when we unlock it, when we're able to, like you said, find that connection with another person, then we realize that we've always been here for a purpose. There was always a purpose. There was always a higher plan. So, brother, I'm with you, man. Brother, this is powerful. This is
This is powerful. We build it. I feel like we playing ping pong. Like, dang, we growing. Dang, we growing.
I wanna hit on something because I hope it'll let me show this right now because bro, let me see if you can see this.
Ooh, how you do that?
Um, it allows me to show pictures. This is talking about oxygen and breath work. Is my
Mm.
picture in the way right now?
It kind of is in a way, but it's
Okay,
okay.
let
Just
me
read it to us.
let me
That we
see if
see.
I can do another one, a different one. I'm talking just on the subject of like, oxygen and just really getting breath back into the body, embracing
Mm-hmm.
power.
Oh, that's me.
That's you, of course. And I love these
Style
talks
quote.
that you be giving to people, man. I love the passion that you really just be putting out in these videos, and you've been doing them like every day.
Yeah, I know. And you know the thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
That compliment. And yes, I've been doing them every day. Actually, yesterday I was going to upload a video that I uploaded today, but my IG was acting weird. And sometimes, it be challenges, not challenges. It be little like weird things sometimes when you start tapping in and you start like spilling out your soul sometimes,
Yeah.
and then you start really channeling that information.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's like you got to put an effort to get it out there. And so yesterday there was some strange things happening on my gram. Yeah, I'm just trying to tap in with the daily knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
or at least I hear these things in my head constantly, constantly. I'm like having all the stuff that I talk about on my page, all the stuff that I talk about to my friends, to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing this stuff in my head. I'm always hyper analyzing reality, and so it just came to the point where I was like, I gotta talk about it. I gotta
Yeah.
just let it out, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things I heard the most. It was like, talk
Yeah.
about it, make
Yeah.
a video, because I'm like everywhere I go around anybody I know that's around me, I'm blah 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 blah, blah talking about all this stuff, but it's like share this on the website or on the internet where people can have access to it. So I'm
Yeah.
just doing my best to continue to share what I hear. Word to the ancestors.
You are tapped in, brother. I enjoy the way you utilize your platform. I feel you use it the way it was intended. You know what I'm saying? Like there's there's a time for inhalation and a time
Mm-hmm.
for exhalation, right? There's a time for breathing in and breathing out. So when we inhale, of course, we can consume, study, research, do all this stuff. But then we got to exhale. We got to create. We got to put out stuff. We got to impact. We got to, cause change. Like that exhalation time, some people they're not giving themselves time to like really give their gift. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And embrace their power as you put it. You're like, stop being shy.
Mm-hmm.
You're here
Yeah.
for a reason. Like, utilize this platform, utilize this technology. You can touch today. We can touch a life at the touch of a button. You can touch someone's
Right.
life. So I really admire the way that you fearlessly are really just challenging people and just being unafraid to say, stand up. You know,
Yeah.
stand up and embrace what you have within you, because you've always had it. It's always been there.
Thank you. I do want to follow that because I feel like this is something I'm gonna start saying a lot
Okay.
because um I want people to know that I'm also just like them, right?
Hmm.
So I'm not only, it's not me fearlessly just saying what I want to say. I'm just like everybody else. I have doubts. Sometimes I have second doubts on my videos all the time. I have second doubts all the time about the things that I'm saying. It's constantly. I just don't show it. It's all, but I constantly, the thing is just that I know that that is part of my message. Don't be afraid to use your voice, and I have to face my own fears or internal insecurities. I have to be it. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
so it's like when I'm putting out these videos every day and all the time, I'm like, da-da-da. Not every day was I completely Superman about putting out that message.
Right.
There's some days where I almost deleted it as it was uploading,
Right.
and then I just let my phone set my phone down and said I'm not going back on
Hmm.
my message. You know what I mean? And so it's like that is one thing that I tell people a lot, like, yo, use your gifts, because
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that come talk to me, a lot of wise people, a lot of people that are wise and powerful, but some of them might not know how wise and powerful they are, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
And a lot of people tell me like, I feel like I need to start doing this, or just as simple as the videos, like I feel like I need to start saying videos. But people like, I just want to say, do it, because it's
Yeah.
not like we like invalidate ourselves. We're like, oh, I'm not a guru for 30 years. I shouldn't be talking on YouTube. I'm like, no, 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 no,
Right.
no,
That whole
no, no.
imposter syndrome.
Yeah,
Imposter syndrome.
yeah.
We're waiting on a certification, or we're waiting on permission for other people, or we're waiting on somebody to tell us, give us the go ahead, you know?
Right, right. We're
Yeah.
waiting for somebody to be like, you qualify to talk to us now.
Right.
You
Right.
had 30 acai bowls in the past 2 years. You
But
qualify.
you're already qualified. I feel like, you don't have to wait for certification to be a life coach or to help
Right.
somebody out. If you've been able to help yourself through a struggle, through a time
Mm-hmm.
where it might have been a perilous time for your mental or for your physical, like anything that you've been able to pull yourself out of, you're already qualified.
Right, right.
You're already in the best position to help somebody out, because you went through a tough time and you came out on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what you just said, actually, that's even more admirable, Sunrise, because brother, you just exemplified courage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Courage is not the absence of fear, right? It's
Yeah.
it's it's the willingness to push forward, to punt fear and press record in spite of the fear that you feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It
Like,
is.
you feel it and you do it anyway. You
Right.
feel anxiety, you feel anxious, you feel that, I don't know if this will be stupid, but you do it anyway,
You
right?
got to.
That's
You
courage.
got to. That you got to thank anime. I learned a lot of courage from anime, man. Them anime characters. Them anime characters. You know what? And you know what? This is on a serious note. On a serious note, with anime, I promise you, if you watch anime,
Yeah.
some of them characters will teach you how you supposed to be living your life. Like some of these characters be in the toughest situation, and they
Yeah.
be like, "We gonna be straight."
Yeah.
They're like, but how you know we gonna be straight? You ain't got
Right.
no how. They like, you know what? We just gonna figure it out on the way, on the way. And I'm like, you know what? You're right, you
Yeah.
know. And then it's like with the video, with the courage to do, I'll be like, ooh, I don't know if I should say that to the people. I don't know if they ready for that, or what
Right.
they gonna think I'm crazy. I'll be
Mhm.
like, but you know what? God daggone Luffy wouldn't have backed off if you know what I mean.
You know what
Like
I'm saying? Yeah.
Luffy or
Shout out
Goku
to One
wouldn't
Piece.
back down.
Shout out
Yeah,
to
I
Luffy
know.
from One Piece. Bro, it's you right. It's like sometimes you figure it out on the way. You figure it out
Mhm.
on the journey. You assemble your parachute on the way down, right?
Right, right.
Before you land and hit the rocks or whatever, you're building the parachute. Like sometimes life is like that. Is We're
Yeah.
not prepared. We're not
Mm-mm.
prepared. And
Mm-mm.
but you don't go necessarily when you're ready. You go when you're ready enough, and
Mm-hmm.
they push you out, and so you just have to kind of figure it out. So You know, it's like setbacks aren't in the way, they're on the way.
They're on the way.
Struggle's not in the way, it's on the way. You know
Ooh,
what I'm
that's
saying? It's
power.
like
Ooh, that's
it's
power.
on the way,
Setbacks
bro.
ain't in the way, they on the way. They a
They're on
part of
the
the
way.
game. They a part of the game. You know what? The game, in all realness, the game wouldn't be fun if there wasn't no setbacks. Life would not be interesting if
Right,
everything can go well. But you know what I mean? Like and when I say setbacks, I don't mean anything bad, because there is no good or bad. You
right,
feel me? It's just a
right.
perception. I
Mhm.
mean, just unexpected events, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Where would life be without the unexpected events, you know?
Right, right.
There done been times where I done been like, I don't know how I got here.
Yeah,
And I don't know how long I'm gonna be here, but you know what? We just gonna ride it out. And then every time, those times where I'm like clueless, yo, they've taught me the deepest lessons that I've learned. You know what I mean? The
yeah.
deepest lessons that's made me who I am. You
Hmm.
know?
Man, it's one of those paradoxes again where it's like, you know, if everything was perfect, right? Imagine if there were no struggle, no opposition, everything was perfect, everybody was perfect, no flaws, nothing. Where where would the growth be? You know?
Right.
How what would you need to learn if you knew everything? If
Mm-hmm.
everything was perfect, it was, you know, what would the experience that the feeling of accomplishment, of getting through trial and tribulation, of overcoming a challenge, of having a victory over, you know, where
Mm-hmm.
would that be if everything was perfect? You know?
Right.
So it's like yes, the whole thing. If we get lemons, we make lemonade, we keep
Right.
on, you know, figuring it out. We're figuring it out as we go. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
no pressure, no diamond. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? No pressure, no
Yeah.
diamond. People
No.
ask me all the time, "Oh, how did you get so patient?" I'm like, "Do you really want to know how I got so patient?" By being in a massive amount of experiences that has forced me to either
Yes.
be patient or explode. You know,
Yes.
I got
Yes.
this patience by being in so many crazy experiences
Yes.
to the fact where it's like I can't explode every time. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
breathe this one out. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
And so it's like, but it's those exact experiences
Mm-hmm.
that allow me to enter the state of existence of like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, now
Yeah.
you see something, you see a hurricane coming, you just flowing with the wind. You know what
Right.
I mean? You're
Right.
not forcing with it. You like, okay, I know
Right.
this hurricane coming, it's good. We're gonna breathe through it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And all of that, it just no pressure, no diamond.
No pressure, no diving.
Extreme pressure, extreme success. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes. It's a beautiful thing when it all comes together. When we realize that we can choose to see things, all things for our good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
for our personal development, for our journey. You know, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, on all scales. You know, it's always working in our favor when we choose to look at things in this way. It's a beautiful growth process. You know, we can really take participation in our growth, you know, in the things that happen. So when you flip things on its head, and instead of saying that this is happening against you, and say this is happening for me, you
Mm-hmm.
know, when you quiet yourself down, when you breathe, right, when you take that
Mm-hmm.
breath and you slow yourself down to the speed of wisdom, where you be
Mm-hmm.
channeling, you channel, I know you channel, like when wisdom flows in with inspiration, because you know inspiration is really just in spirit, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
inhalation of the breath, you are in spirit, so you are inspired. You
Yeah.
know, that's where these things come from. So when we allow ourselves to see things these ways, it's like we're realizing the bigger picture. But I always love the saying, it's hard to see the whole picture when we're stuck inside the frame. You
Right.
know, it's like
It's
we're
like
in a, yeah.
no more victim mentality. It's
No
just no more
more.
victim, because you know, you start to, you right, when you start to take those when you start to slow down and really look at things at a different perception, you do realize things aren't happening to you, they're happening for you.
Yeah.
And then as you start to continue to realize they're happening for you, then you start realizing they're happening for you and they're happening because of you. You know what I mean? They're not only happening for you, they happening because of you. It's like it's your fault, whatever reality you in. Not fault like it's bad, but it's
Right.
your reality. You
Right.
constructed this whole thing. And
Right.
then that's when it just bounces off each other. That's when you can be like, okay, let me be peaceful right now because I know some way, shape, or form I didn't manifested this exact situation
Yeah.
right here for some reason
Yeah.
for me. You know what I mean? And another thing of what I want to push on here, where we got some viewers, and as we're talking about this changing the perception of how we see things, this is specifically changing your perception from a third dimensional point of view to a fifth dimensional point of view. And listen, we're entering the 5D. We're already there. The earth is at a fifth dimensional state of frequency. And so you have to, in order to exist comfortably
Hmm.
in this fifth dimensional frequency, you start to have to live and operate out of a fifth dimensional frequency yourself. And one of the main things that most of us humans are shifting into our fifth dimensional frequency are at the moment is that very thing, realizing things are happening for you and
Hmm.
because of you. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
The world is now being forced
Hmm.
to have that state of mind. And if you realize in the world, if all the people without that state of mind, they're very uncomfortable right now because
Yeah.
the earth's frequency is
Yeah.
already there. It's
Right.
like this is the standard. You got to jump up and hit the mark. So it's
Yes.
like,
Yeah. My friend told me this. It's like she told me, it's if life is like a game, of musical chairs.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The game has started. You could get kicked out the game.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you're not willing to play this game. So yes, it's like elevate,
Mm-hmm.
graduate, go to the next level. We have risen to the next level. So that's a part of the ascension process. So
Mm-hmm.
man,
It's part
man,
of it.
speak on it. So
We
speak
got to
on
keep elevating.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, it's like I cannot get somewhere new until I think something new. You
Mm-hmm.
know? I have to think something new to get somewhere new. I can't get
Mm-hmm.
somewhere new with the old thought, that I had, that the thought that got me here won't be the
Mm-hmm.
thought that gets me there, you
Mm-mm.
know? And
And you
so
gotta be
yeah. And then
that
that
that goes
mantra too.
back to that what you were saying about the fake imposter syndrome we impose upon ourselves. You know what I mean? When some people are like, oh, I don't know if I should start doing this yet because of I'm not certified or whatever. It's like, in order for you to get to that level to where you feel certified, you got to start thinking it and you got to start being it. And
Hmm.
if it's just brand new, you got to get used to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you just got to be it. You're great. You already, with the intent alone, like you said, the thought, with
Yeah.
the thinking of the brand new, that already just sets off a chain of events,
Yes.
a domino effect on your reality. It's like boom, now we're going this way. It's
Yeah.
going to unfold regardless with the
Hmm.
intention that you set. You just got to be it too.
Yes. Embody it, be it. And it's a chain of events that we could never plan for. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? With our consciousness the way it is, it's like we could never plan for all the events that would take place to get us to where we need to go, to get us to where we need to be. So
Right.
I just love the practice of being grateful, the gratitude practice, because like you said, people were asking you, Sunrise, how do you get so patient? And you're like, do you really want to know, what's happened to me to get me so this patient? The things that had to happen to you to bring about that patience. It's like, be careful what you wish for, right?
Right.
You ask for patience. I want more patience. I need to be patient. Life is gonna give you what you ask for. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
It's
saying?
gonna be
It's
like,
gonna get
hey,
you there.
they said they want to be patient. Let's see if they really patient.
Let's see. Let's see if you want to be patient. You want to be patient? I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna
Right.
teach you.
And then it's like blah 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 blah. And after you all hit up, be like, yep, I think they got it. I think they getting the patience now.
Yes.
We didn't
Yes.
hit them with all
We're
that.
here. We're here
Yeah.
now.
And that's so powerful what you said with the be careful what you risk for,
Yeah.
because that is so true on this journey, especially this journey of ascension. Because I know on my journey as I've unfolded, I've always done mantras like I'm elevating daily, da 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 da. And it's like, yeah, you facing life that's making you elevate daily.
Yeah. Yeah. You said you want to elevate, right?
Yeah.
This is what it
Right.
takes. This what is it? To whom much is given, much is required, right?
Mm-hmm.
Much is
Mm-hmm.
tested. So it's like, hey, you said you want to elevate. You said
Mm-hmm.
that's what you said. So it's like, we
And
can't.
that's another
Yeah,
thing too. Much is required, you know.
yeah,
That's what I tell people too. People are like, how do you maintain this frequency? I'm like, or how do you maintain in such a positive state of existence? I'm like, a lot of meditation, a
yeah,
lot of deep breathing. I do
yeah.
trap chi every day, deep
Mhm.
breathing every day,
Mhm.
30-40 minutes of
Every
class.
day, every
And
day.
then I do my own practices because I can't even not can't because I don't get the full experience of trap chi as I'm teaching. You know what I mean? So I have my own sessions and I still have class. Plus I meditate, I
Yeah,
pray. It's like I'm doing all this stuff daily. And the
right.
days that I don't do it as much, I notice. You know what I mean? I'm not as where I'm at. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, yeah, it seems like I'm really shining and you're really shining, but we do a lot to maintain this peace. We're out in nature. You know,
Yeah,
how much time you spend in nature, you know? When the last time you grounded your feet on the earth, you know? Like all this is required to
yeah.
maintain these states of being and these states of existence.
Right. It's like that is a great point that you put there, brother, because what's practiced in private will come out in public, but people will never know. They'll never know. They see your glory, but they don't know your story. They don't know
Mm-hmm.
what it took to get to there. They don't know what it took you to get to that point. So like you say, every single day without fail, you are working on yourself. You are bringing yourself into harmony with these vibrations, with these forces. Like you are purposefully and consciously doing the work, and that's getting you there. So it's almost like you're making an investment. Somebody told
Right.
me when it comes to qigong, he said, qigong, when you do qigong, you're like making your own luck. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Because we can't withdraw from the bank what we have not deposited. You know,
Right.
you don't,
Right.
you can't take out something that you haven't put in.
Right.
So there's
Right.
a lot of people, there's a lot of us, and I used to do the same thing. I used to try to withdraw things that I hadn't deposited. Like
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put anything in the bank. I hadn't meditated. I hadn't done the
Mm-hmm.
work, but I'm still trying to get an experience that I didn't give, I didn't earn this, you
Right.
know? So
Right.
like when people are seeing, your glory, they're neglecting your story. They don't see what it took to get to that level, to get to that state of awareness.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's so interesting how the whole journey teaches you about that awareness and like it all ties in with the patience and the presence, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it starts off like that in the journey. You're like, okay, I found out about chakras. I'm about to activate my chakras and I'm about to astral project. And you're
Yeah.
like, whoa, 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 whoa. Have you ever even been to that dimension, bro? Like, do you know how that dimension is? Hold up. You trying to go what? You just found out about your root chakra, bro. Hold up.
Yeah.
Take a minute. Sit into that, you know? So
Right.
it's like it is making an investment, you know, and it ties into everything we talk about, making an investment,
Yeah.
being okay, not expecting, being okay with the unexpected.
Right.
Like when you on this journey and you trying to elevate yourself, be okay with the fact that it may take some years to do some things. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you got to be okay with that. And then just being, and then it ties back into being present in the
Yes.
moment.
In
Cause
the
then
now moment.
you start to realize that you are what you're trying to be because of the intent. And then it like all, it ties into everything we was talking about today. And so it's like, just being patient with that journey, making that investment, them daily trap
Daily.
trees, making that investment, daily meditation every day, 10 minutes. I remember like also how people talk to me like, how do you do this and how can you meditate that? And I tell people how long I meditate. They're like, how can you meditate that long? And I can never do that. And it's like, well, you just told me you never meditated in your life. I'm not expecting you to sit down and meditate for an hour. You know,
Right.
you if you can, you can. But it's like, what am I? I'm like 25 physically. It's like, so I've been meditating for like 8 years now. You know what I mean? My first meditations, they weren't 30 minutes. They weren't
Right,
40 minutes. They weren't an hour. They weren't
right.
none of that. I wasn't always this calm. It took me, I had to be proud with meditating for 10 minutes and being like,
Yeah,
woo, I
or
just
5 minutes.
meditated or
You know
five
what I'm saying?
minutes.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's like,
learning how to walk again, you know? It's
mm-hmm.
like you're learning something completely, something completely new that you didn't do before. You're acquiring a new skill. Like what did Will Smith say? He's like, you don't start out, you don't build a wall. You take a brick and you
Mm-hmm.
lay this one brick perfectly,
Yeah,
perfectly one little brick, and then you keep laying another brick and another brick and another brick, and then eventually you have a wall,
you
right?
have the wall.
Eventually you have this new skill. Eventually you can meditate for an hour and it feels like 30 minutes.
Right.
You can meditate for 30 minutes and it feels like 15 minutes. Like eventually you get to that point where you've been meditating, putting that money in the bank, so to speak, that spiritual investment, like that energy currency.
Yeah,
You've been
yeah,
putting
yeah.
energy currency in the bank, and so if you think about it like, okay, $1 a day, $1 a day, $1 a
Mm-hmm.
day, at the end of the year, you might have $365 and be like, it's all good. But then at the end of 8 years,
Yeah.
you like, oh wait, I got a little rock here. I got an
Right,
investment.
right. Like I've
Like,
been
I've been
saving a
sitting
little
on
bit.
some, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got some
Like
money
I'm
in the bank.
good. No, we straight. We got a little savings. Yeah,
Right, right. And then you can cash in.
mm-hmm.
You've invested, right? So now you can bump that up, and like, that can double and triple, and
Right,
compound interest. Compound interest comes in, and it's like a stock that just skyrockets,
right.
because you invested. You took the
Yeah,
time.
and
Yeah.
it's 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 just so interesting. The whole investing, putting in work. It's like it applies. It goes back to the pressure. You know, the
Mhm.
pressure. You, and it's like everything in life almost has that model. Like your muscles.
Yeah.
When you wanna get stronger muscles, what do? You put pressure on them. You
Yeah.
put pressure on them, and
Yeah.
then they break down and rebuild stronger to handle
Right.
that pressure. When you wanna elevate your mental, you read, you
Yeah.
study,
Pressure.
you work it out, you like
Yeah.
molding it. And
Mhm.
so it's like, yeah, you just got to keep building those muscles. I'll say, I don't even want to say put pressure, because I like telling people to relax through it. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, and
Relax
that's
through
a
it.
good point too, because the rest and recovery is just as important as the resistance, as the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, the inhalation is just important as the exhalation.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
Mm-hmm.
is there's a back and forth to everything. There's a rhythm to everything.
Right.
So as you put pressure, it's like stretching, like yoga.
Mm-hmm.
The more we stretch, the more flexible we get. But it's like at first we're really tense. That's
Mm-hmm.
my friend put it like a hallway. He said if you
Yeah.
don't stretch, after years and years of not stretching, your hallway is like this, and
Mm-hmm.
it's real hard to move. It's real tight. You're trying to move and you can't move. But the more you stretch, the more your hallway opens up, opens up,
Mm-hmm.
opens up, and now you have space to move, space to breathe, space to just go around. But it took
Create
pressure,
space.
right? It took resistance to get there. Yeah.
Mm.
So,
That's
man,
powerful, family.
and you do that in every breathwork session. You have us stretching, you have us
Mm-hmm.
breathing, you have us doing a number of things. So man,
Yeah, 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 that stretching, that internal space, it's like, as above, so below. You start stretching and you getting more space internally and physically.
hmm
Your mind starts to develop more space. You get more time to harmonize with the now moment. You start to, it's like less, it like comes to down to like creating less anxiety in your mind,
yeah,
like creating space internally, physically, create space mentally,
yeah, yes,
because also another thing about stretching and all that yoga stuff, we literally, for those of you on the chat that don't know, I'm also a massage therapist, and so I massage people for a living.
hmm
And we have trigger points all over our bodies, which are just trigger points. To define trigger points, they're just simply